Hey, so what's the best marketing for getting bookkeeping clients? Now, this is a really interesting question because in a lot of cases, there's going to be different stages or different right answers depending on what stage of your business are you in. Are you in first client mode? Are you in first consistent set of clients? Are you in, you have clients consistently but it's a little bit slow? Are you getting clients but you sped up a little bit but you just don't know like how to control it, right? So I'm gonna assume if you're watching this specific video, it's gonna be like maybe like one of the earlier stages, right? Which either you're trying to get your first client or you're trying to get your first like 3 to 5 clients, right? So your first challenge, like when you're starting out something, like I would, if you're not doing a mentorship program, if you're not doing some kind of coaching of some sort, and you're learning this stuff from scratch, you're not going to do the best marketing. Like it's just not skill set wise, you don't have it yet. So the question is not what is the best marketing that's going to work. It's what is the marketing strategy that you can be consistent at. So in the beginning, it's really about like really surviving those first like 60 days where no one knows you exist. You're a little bit ineffective at reaching people at scale, and like you just don't really have a good elevator pitch or a good sales script down. So you're just more in that survival stage. Now, ideally, you're gonna have some form of like consistent income going, right? So like maybe at your job or whatever, so like you don't feel like super stressed. But it's like you're in survival mode, hopefully not financial survival mode, but more of like marketing and business survival mode, where it's like the business is trying to survive, just trying to like get out of obscurity, right? But then you find one method. Now it depends on your personality. It depends on like what you like. Like if you like doing stuff in person because you love talking to people, probably networking events could be good for you, right? Networking events can be a little bit hard for some people for a multitude of reasons. Number one, a lot of people's schedule does not allow them to just like leave work during the middle of the workday, right? So it's hard. Sometimes with networking events, if you're not in a very like affluent area, you tend to get business owners that are not as able to pay a high price point as well. Um, so networking events can be a little bit harder for some, but easy for others. But it's like it depends on your personality. For me, for example, networking events like they could be okay, but I don't really like talking to people exactly the same way that I used to. So if this was like me when I first got started, I would have been like, okay, cool, let's try go to network events because I was ready to try anything, right? Because I needed to make things work. As I've gotten more systems, more stuff set up, right? Then it's more like very select places that I would either go do or even like utilize to go and get clients. And networking just isn't one of those things, right? So one thing that worked better for my personality is using more of like social media, like LinkedIn or like Facebook, right? Now, I started with LinkedIn because it was really, really good. Facebook can be a little bit easier to kind of scale after a certain period of time. So you have to kind of like pick. Like if you're always on Facebook every single day and you're like, you understand the platform, you're sharing, pictures with your family, you like the cat videos, etc., that could actually be an easy way for you to get clients and for you to go get leads, right? But if you're not using any social media platform, let me adjust this camera. If you're not using any social media platforms, then probably LinkedIn would be a better one for you to start out with because it's just easier to research people you're talking to and just has a better way to kind of communicate with the people that are already friends with you, right? So like with LinkedIn, it can be a little bit harder to build up your friends list, but once you have your friends list built, you can literally outreach to every single person on your friends list in the span of 30 minutes. Versus on Facebook, if let's say you have 1,000 friends, right? It could be a little bit easier to get to 1,000 friends, but once you have the 1,000 friends, you can barely send in batches of like 30 messages. So if you get like a large message out really quickly, it's very hard to do that on Facebook, right? But let's even take a step back. So after you get your first client, right? Your goal is really to get 3 clients. I don't like that first client goal because yes, it's exciting for a beginner, but like if you have any goal that's above 5K per month, it's a foregone conclusion that if you're serious about that goal, you're gonna get your first client no matter what. So the next thing becomes your 3 client goal, right? So you have to find something like sticking whatever got you 1 client, try and see if it can get you 3 clients. If it can get you 3 clients, when I say like 1 client, I mean like a client above $500 a month. If a client's like below $500 a month, I don't really count them as a client. It was just more of a payment. You know what I mean? Like they might have been a customer, they weren't really a client. Um, but if you can do something that gets you 3 clients, your goal now becomes just do it forever. Like literally. Like I think a lot of people are really overcomplicating a lot of this stuff, right? So it's like when you get your first three clients, do it forever. Now, if you got your first three clients through like we'll call it like luck, where it's like maybe it was like a friend of a friend and you only got like three or four clients, but you only had three or four friends, you're out of friends. Okay. That means you didn't really earn those three clients the same way. So you didn't really develop a marketing channel that could bring those three clients in. And if you're watching this video, you probably know that. So I'm not trying to beat you up over the head, right? But whatever can get you to three clients, right, is a thing that can get you to 10 or 20 clients. It's just a matter of how fast does it happen and how good are you at that skill set. So I'll give you an example. It used to take me having every 250 people that would follow me on social media would end up becoming a client for me. And like that was great. At the time it was like I was ecstatic, it was consistent, it was awesome. But then I got better at advertising. So then what happened was for every 150 people that followed me, I was getting a client. Okay, cool. So that means 100 less people each time I need to get a client. So that means I can get clients faster and I can get more clients because I can spend the same amount of money. But then I got even better at messaging, right? So then what happened was every 50 people that would follow me, I would get a client. So it's like it wasn't necessarily that I found something that was like exponentially or magically better. I just got better at the key components of the thing that was already giving me the clients. Now, I didn't just magically become better. I did like invest in like coaching programs to teach me each aspect, right? So how to do my original advertising, right? To get one client for every 250 leads. Okay, that cost me 5,000 to learn that. And then once I recouped some money and like I think I had made like 30K off the first 5,000 that I spent on this project. Okay, cool. So then once I like started making like 30K, I was like, okay, well I want to make some more money faster. So I need to learn a better way to a better way to do these same type of ads. Like how do I write ads better? What are the better types of ads? So I paid another guy like $5,600, right, to basically upgrade my ads. And like, I learned some pretty cool stuff from that. Made another, 30K, 50K off of that. Probably about 50K. Then I reinvested again and I learned how to do better quality messages. And that one cost me about $7,000 to do that, right? And that gave me about 100K. So it's like, I kept investing on the same system. I wasn't a person where I was trying to find like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 different types of marketing methods to find like the one most scalable thing, right? And I think that's another weakness people have. Like most people are like, "Oh, I don't want to do something unless it's scalable." And like almost everyone who uses the word scalable, including myself, that means you're probably not mentally or systematically ready to scale. You see, I didn't scale my business until I stopped trying to scale my business. Instead, what I did, and I know this sounds crazy, like, what do you mean you scale when you stop trying to scale? I literally just focused on what are the things that we do every single day? How do we make every single thing that we do every single day just a little bit better? It's a little bit better, right? And then what happened was my income ended up going up. Actually, my income doubled by doing like half the work that I used to do in the past because I just got better at the stuff that I should be doing and cut out all the stuff that I should not be doing. But most people think about scaling. It's like, no, you're not ready to scale. You don't have the systems in place to handle scale. You don't have the right mentality to scale because all you're doing when you're scaling is you're just doing the basics, but you're doing more of the basics faster and better, right? So it's like when you're like the best boxers, right? Let's say like a sport of boxing, right? It's not like they have 70,000 punches. They just get better at dodging punches, getting hit by punches, and throwing the same 4 or 6 different types of punches that you can throw from different angles. So they just get really good at their jab and their cross, their hook, and their uppercut, right? Some of them can throw different types of jabs, but it's really only the same like 6 punches, right? But they get great at that. Great. They fix their footwork. They fix their ability to throw. Some of them can actually punch and they cover their chin when they punch, so they can't get hit by someone doing a counter, right? But it's like they're doing the same basic things at such a high level that no one can compete with them. And that's all you really need to learn to do, right? Because like with this business model, it's a very simple business model. All it is learn how to price and package your service, market and sell your service, and then do the client work. You do those 3 things over and over again. There's no way you don't go and make, your first 100K in a year. And then you make your first million after about anywhere between like 5 to like 10, right? So it's just like really, you should be making about $1 million within about 5 years of starting your bookkeeping business. Now I know that sounds crazy. Like, wait, what do you mean, Bryce? Like, you should be at 15 to 20K per month within like 5 years. So technically, we're being honest. It should take you about 5.5, maybe 6 years to go collect your next $1 million from this like online business model. You're like, well, Bryce, that seems unrealistic. It's like, okay, well, think about it. If you can get 3 clients, why can't you get 9 clients? If you can get 9 clients, why can't you go get 18 clients? If you can get 18 clients, why can't you go get 36 clients? The only reason why you wouldn't be able to do it is if you either never got the first 3 clients, or if you just didn't like increase your capacity or create workflows to be able to handle the 40 client mark. You know what I mean? So it's like there's not really any reasons why after about 2 years you don't have 40 clients, you're not making 200K per year. And what are your expenses? I mean, outside of your livable expenses, but like your business net profit should be close to like 85-95%. Especially if you're doing the work yourself. And if you're not doing paid advertisements, that's the other thing. If you're not doing paid advertisements, your profit margins should be so high that when you tell other business models, they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Like if someone is not telling you that your margins don't make any sense, you're not running this business model correctly. Like when I tell people, just some of the stats from some of the businesses that I run, they're like, what? And when I tell them like how little time I actually spend doing the business and just more like either like especially like for the coaching business, just talking to people, it's like they're like, what? So it's like these online business models are the ultimate form of leverage for your time, your money, just your expertise, everything. But it starts with just like getting one marketing channel that's gonna be the best for you to get that first client. Once you get that first client, really focus on getting 3 clients, but you want to do it in a consistent way. You don't want to be jumping from place to place to place. Get client from place A, second client from place B, second client from place 3. You don't want that because there's no consistency within there, right? You make the marketing system you do the best marketing for yourself. It doesn't just start out being the best ever. Okay? Awesome. Hopefully you learned something new. If you want to, but if you do like want some help, like maybe you've been trying to get a client for a while, maybe you've been trying, you just haven't gotten your first 3 clients, and you've been trying for either you haven't gotten started, you've been trying for a while. If you want help being able to not just get your first 3 clients, but be able to go and reach your life goals, click the link inside the description below the video. Let's book a call. Let's see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program. Okay? I will talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day. Take it easy.